Hello, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Be Real, Get Real podcast. I am your host, Nancy Matthews, one of the founders of Women's Prosperity Network. And welcome, yay! Welcome to Be Real, Get Real. This is where we have the opportunity to have conversations with real women, sharing real stories of what they've been through and how they've overcome to move forward and make the impact that they're making. Today, we have the honor of introducing you to Amy Schumstein. Did I get it right this time?
Schumstein, yeah.
Schumstein, so close, so close. So welcome, Amy. Amy is a registered nurse, a holistic healing and wellness expert. She's also a best-selling author, a speaker, and a black belt. She's a black belt.
Story.
Watch out. She's going to get us into shape. And you know, the thing I love, Amy, about the fact that you have studied the martial arts is the flow that comes with it and the precision. It seems like you've brought that into everything that you now do.
Yeah, mindset for sure.
Yes, a big piece of it.
Energy, yep, all of that.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk with Amy about being uprooted and how to get rooted when you've been uprooted. So share with our audience a little bit about that part of your journey where everything was uprooted.
Well, first, let me say thank you and welcome to everybody that's watching. Yeah, I didn't expect some of my life to go the way that it did, and mostly with divorce. And I think that staying focused or having, like you said, some of that skill set from judo and martial arts and growing up holistically so that I could sort of go back to those roots and get rooted that way was really beneficial in getting me on track again to focus on where I needed to go, basically.
Yeah. Well, and let's talk about this for a moment, because you know this particular chapter you're sharing about has to do with getting divorced. And as you spoke about that, and I've been married and divorced, you know, I don't think any of us get into a marriage expecting to get divorced, right?
Correct.
So true. Yeah, even when you're the one who wants it, it still can feel like, you know, a failure.
Yes.
And all of that crap around it. I'm not good enough. Like, I know that's what happened for me, at least.
Yeah, agreed. Same. And even in people that I talk with currently, they're saying the same things. And that guilt that you carry and the shame of failure and really the need for forgiveness to just realize that it's a stage of life. It's not what we planned. But if we stay in it, that's going to be worse off. You know, our body needs to heal and get on with it, and our mindset. And if you stay and wallow in it, it's just not good for you.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes you don't realize that you're sitting in a pot of yuck.
For lack of a better word, I know what you.
I know. I was being PG or whatever that is. When you're in the midst of the stink and the crap and the yuck, you may not even realize it or know how to get out of it. Like, I know for me, my everything felt so out of control because my whole paradigm of what I thought my life was going to be just was shifted. And I had no control. So I felt anxious, nervous most of the time, uncertain, not knowing what to do next.
Yeah. And in this stage of crisis fatigue, really, that we've been going through for like a year, you know, take any of that and then other things that our personal lives are going through. And it's really an elevated stress on the body and the hormones that are going through and everything. And we really need to sort of rein that back in. I think I mentioned to you once before that a Harvard study was done. 1 minute of stress causes our immune system to decrease for up to 4 hours, whereas 1 minute of laughter increases our immune system for up to 24. So hello, in this day and age, which would you rather have?
Wow. 1 minute of stress lowers your immune system by for up
to 4 or 5 hours. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I think about all those times I used to spend feeling anxious or angry or pissed off, and like all of that, it causes a breakdown in health. So that correlation between mind, body, spirit. They're connected.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, they are. And I know so you've been a registered nurse for a long time now, right?
Ooh, too long. I was a critical care nurse, so I worked at the bedside for 20 years. But I grew up holistically. And so everyone was like, "What? You're going to go into medicine?" Like, it didn't make sense. But for me, taking that science and adding it to the holistic part has really been beneficial, and sort of explaining to people what they can do to get back on track. So you can take a little piece of this. I mean, if you break an arm, herbs probably aren't going to help. However, but they are going to, maybe do something else for your body and your hormones in your system. Yeah. So the combination has been amazing for me. But I also realized it's not just what you're putting in your mouth, it's what you're putting in your head. I mean, and that piece was invaluable for me to learn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they really do go together. And I know we talked in the past, and you shared one of your passions and your missions in, going more to working with people holistically, is working at the bedside for all those years. You saw how just science alone didn't provide the same kind of results as when you combine them together.
Right. And one of the things that I say is you can't get better in the hospital on broth and jello. Here's your salt, here's your sugar. There's almost no nutrition. As nurses, we get very minimal nutritional education. And yet what you need for your body is like 7 to 13 on average raw fruits and vegetables a day. So if you think that's about 10, that's 70 a week, that's 300 in a month. Who's putting 300 servings of raw fruits and vegetables in? I know.
I do not. And just trying to eat that much would be a challenge.
Oh, I know. You're eating your broccoli while you're drying your hair,
Not a pretty sight. And then your breath smells. Forget about it. Right. And speaking of breath smelling, I want to say thank you, because a few years ago, I had a checkup, and the doctor recommended I do fish oil to help with whatever that helps with. What does that help with?
EPA, your brain, your heart, your
joints. Brain, also cholesterol maybe, or something like that. Yeah. So anyway, I go to GNC and I buy these really good fish tablets. And then I was speaking at an event. So I wake up in the morning, I take my green juice, I do my fish tablets, I go downstairs and I'm talking with someone, and she's like, "Nancy, I really care about you. Your breath smells like fish." It's like, oh no, I'm trying to do something good here, and now I smell like fish. But you, my friend, turned me on to these
vegan-based, plant-based.
Yeah, so I feel really great, and my breath doesn't smell. So thank you.
Great. I mean, it only makes sense anyway. The fish eat the algae, which is what we use to get out of the fish. It's like an extra step. All you're doing is cutting out the middle fish.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go back. I digress. And it's important. So get in touch with Amy if you want to take care of your body, but not have it smell like fish, or many other things. Let's talk a little bit about this process of getting rooted when everything is uprooted. So your nutrition, your mindset, what are some other suggestions you have? Because I suspect there's a lot of people who feel very uprooted right now. Jobs have changed or have disappeared. Our social lifestyle, relationship, like this past 18 months,
Right. The number of family members may have changed in a sad way. Right. A lot. And rooted it's an acronym for several words. And so the first one, R, is relax. The best thing you can do is accept that change is going to happen and be that tree that blows in the wind. And so if you need to journal, if you need to throw axes, if you need to do yoga, meditate, find vary it. Find your choice, though, that helps you relax. Stress, the more I age, that doesn't sound right, but as I get wiser, I learn so much more about the stress on the body and the hormones, and that cortisol that just comes out. We're not being chased by a saber-toothed tiger anymore. So, but our body doesn't know that. Our reaction is the same. So the stress that happens really does cause disease, and it really does cause issues.
And doesn't cortisol, an overabundance of cortisol production create that belly fat?
Yes, belly fat, totally.
So if you've got a fat belly, don't stress about having a fat belly, because then you're just going to make it more.
That's true. I'm going to use that, Nancy. Yeah. But like I said, throw axes. Get whatever you need. I mean, get connected with what relaxes you. Take a bath. I mean, there's a variety of things out there. Just mix it up. Try them. All right. And then one of the other. Go ahead.
I was going to say, so we're talking about how to get rooted when everything in your life feels like it's, or has been, uprooted. So the first thing is to find a way to relax. All right. What's the next one?
I'm going to do an O. I'm going to skip one O and do the second O.
Okay.
Get rid of the old. Okay. That pair of jeans that you've been hanging on to for a long time is probably never going to fit, and it's okay. Stop focusing on other people's philosophies that you've carried. You know, one of the things I talked about with some people recently was the fact that my mom had a fear of heights. I didn't. Yet I carried that for so long until I decided to spend a year. I jumped out of an airplane. I did hot air balloon rides.
Wow.
Get rid of that philosophy that really may be somebody else's. You know, it's not necessarily yours. So one of the O's is old. Get rid of the old.
Get rid of the old, and don't buy into other people's philosophies and beliefs. Create your own.
Correct.
Awesome.
Correct. And then, of course, we got to touch briefly on the eat well, because, you know, that's where I live, and eating well and helping people get nutrition and having that balance of, you know, if you get stuff that's grown in the earth, you're going to get more things as opposed to the processed stuff. It saddens me when I realize that so many kids nowadays think that lettuce comes from, you know, a bag in aisle 9. It's not that it comes from the ground. They really don't have an idea of what happens. So I already mentioned how many servings you should get a day.
Yes. And so let me dial in on this for a moment, because two things I want to share. As I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, and my mom cooked a very traditional meat and potatoes kind of diet. Like, that's what we grew up on, canned vegetables, not even frozen vegetables.
Yeah.
And my daughter, fortunately, taught me a few years ago that when you go to the supermarket, if you mainly shop on the outside perimeter where they have all the coolers for the fresh things,
right?
If you just did that one change, your diet, it would make a huge difference.
True. So true. Yep.
Yeah.
And even knowing some of the symbols that they have on the foods, that'll help you also.
What does that mean?
You know how there's a code whenever you're getting ready to check out, you know, an avocado is 4260, for instance.
Okay.
That code means something. A letter that comes before that, an 8 is great. That means it's organic. A 9 is not. It's processed. Yeah, it's
never knew that.
It's GMO. Yeah. I can post a little thing in your after you post this, I'll put a little key up there.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great. So the other thing I was going to talk about when you mentioned that kids think that lettuce comes in a bag, they don't even know that it comes out of the ground. I was like that. So again, grew up in Brooklyn, pretty standard, you know, American diet, the sad as it's referred to. And a friend of mine brought in guacamole for us to have for a snack. And I had never had guacamole. Right. So I'm eating it with the chips. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is delicious. And then I said, where do you buy guacamoles? I had no idea it came from an avocado.
Yeah. But now you know, and now you can't get rid of it, right?
But that goes to where, you know, myself and so many of us, whatever environment we're brought up in, especially as it relates to the food and the nutrition that we're taking in.
Yeah.
You know, my mom wasn't schooled in the things that are available, you know, to us today. There wasn't conversations about organic and let's get it. Like, since I have become more intentional and conscious working with you and knowing more about nutrition, I feel so much better and look better too.
That's right. On a cellular level, like your cells crave what you put in. So those people that are addicted to sugar, their cells crave sugar. It's not like a fallacy. It really is the truth. It's just what happens.
Yeah.
And I'll go on to one more letter, D.
Good. D.
Drink water. Actually, I have 3 Ds, but drink water.
Drink water now.
And then drink until your urine is clear. I mean, people have formulas and stuff, but just look in the toilet. If it's clear, then you're hydrated. But one of the tricks that I have is some people have a hard time trying to drink water, and 60% of our cells are water. Our brain is 75%. So when you're starting to feel cranky, often you're just dehydrated. And with COVID, especially, people were looking in that refrigerator thinking something magical was going to appear every 10 minutes. But put a little cup, like an 8-ounce cup of water on the shelf where the ice machine is, or near your water, near your refrigerator. And before you open it, drink an 8-ounce glass of water. And almost inevitably, you're not going to be as hungry when you look in there for something.
Right, because our bodies can get confused, like the signals we receive.
Correct.
I think I'm hungry, but I'm really just thirsty.
Correct. And we shut it off so quickly that it's just one of those things, that we ignore that and think, I need something to eat. I'm hungry because I'm hangry. But really, you're just thirsty. Yeah.
I've been hangry.
Yeah.
And so you can all get more from Amy. I highly encourage you to reach out to Amy, because when everything is uprooted, to get rooted, to get grounded back in who you are, feeling your best, she's got a beautiful natural approach that combines your physical nutrition as well as the mindset piece. She's amazing to work with. So
thank you, Nancy.
Her link is in the chat.
Thank you, Nancy.
Below. Awesome.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Well, I appreciate you, my friend. Any last words of wisdom, maybe from the black belt side of your personality?
Whoa, that's a tough one. Know that you can do it. We are capable of change, and our growth mindset is a key to that, knowing that we're not stuck in our ways. We are capable of change. We just have to be committed to it.
Beautiful. No, you can do it. Go for that black belt in your best life. Thank you again for being with us, Amy. I appreciate you and love you, my friend.
Love you too, Nancy.
Thank you. All of you out there, make this a wonderful day. Get out there, be real, be yourself, and remember that while we may not have it all together we have it all. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Nancy.